Hi, folks. For those of you who are just tuning in, we're going to wait about a minute. We start at 7:30, but what I'd like to do is get on a little bit earlier so that we could begin to populate both our live Periscope broadcast and our Facebook broadcast. Before I get into what we're going to be discussing tonight, I just want you to know that we had a tremendous amount of people viewing last week when we were on, something new that we tried, and it just has worked tremendously. Now I see our Facebook is beginning to populate with a good number of people. We are on Periscope, and that takes a little bit longer. So we're going to start in about, I guess about 45 seconds. And I know as we move along, more and more people are going to be tuning in. These are 25 to 30-minute broadcasts. We're here to give you facts about a lot of issues that are affecting our nation. I've got a lot to talk about tonight. We found out, or we've learned that we've got a lot of issues that we have to discuss. Okay, it's 7:30, so I'm going to get started. Facebook is populating quickly. I see Twitter and Periscope is populating quickly, so thank you for tuning in. Now, we know that there were two elections in this past Tuesday, gubernatorial races as well as down-ballot races. And the mainstream media and others would want you to believe that this is the end of the Trump era. Well, that's so far from the truth, folks. I'm going to be able to share with you a couple of things tonight that'll prove that. But I really, truly want to get one message across to everyone, especially in Virginia and in the state of New Jersey. We need to calm down, folks. We need to calm down. We need to bring our resources together, and we need to do what Ronald Reagan did in the 1980s when he went after Jimmy Carter. We need to unite and come together. I know there's a lot of people who are frightened. There are a lot of people who are frustrated and angry. But pointing fingers at people at this stage of the game, blaming her, blaming him, blaming this, blaming that, is going to get us nowhere. All it's going to do is continuously divide the GOP, divide all of us who have worked so very, very hard for the Make America Great Again agenda. I wish by now, I purposely waited 48 hours. I wanted to see if anyone in the GOP, in New Jersey especially, I don't know about Virginia, but I wanted somebody in the New Jersey GOP, a high-level political official, to stand up, to get on TV or to get on Facebook, to get somewhere and to tell the people of the state of New Jersey that all is not lost. Because it isn't lost, folks. This is one election. Critical, yes, very, very critical. But we must look forward. We must prepare for the future. And the irony of this election is that the Democrats are going to hand to us within 24 months exactly what we need to begin the process of turning this state red for the President of the United States. Sounds ironic, doesn't it? But it's absolutely the truth. Now, those of you who are partners of Team Trump New Jersey, yesterday you received a analysis of the election in Virginia and the election here in New Jersey. And with regard to New Jersey, it was not unexpected that this was going to happen, because historically this happens. Democrats 2 years, Republicans 2 years, Democrats, Republicans. It's just a fact of life in New Jersey that this happens, and the cycle has turned towards the liberals and the left. So what does that mean? That means we have to be absolutely sure that the next cycle comes around that we're going to take this state back. You know, Republicans have a habit of doing one thing that the Democrats used to do, but they learned and they don't do. You lose an election, and what do we do as Republicans? We go out and we start killing each other. The GOP should have done this. The candidate should have done that. The Republican Party this. The Republicans down South Jersey should have done that. North Jersey this. And so we're spending 6 months fighting each other, while the Democrats and the liberals and the progressives are just building and building and building. But we got wise to that some time ago. In fact, folks, we got wise to that when I ran for governor of the state of New Jersey in the primary. I realized something. As I was crisscrossing New Jersey, I realized that we can seize this opportunity in the event that things don't go our way. And they didn't. But we could seize this opportunity to build a very formidable force and structure in order to ensure that Republican candidates who support the President of the United States are going to win during the midterm elections. and to ensure that in 2020, President Donald Trump would surely, if we can't flip it red, boy, we'd get it so close to flipping it red. So my point is that as we went down this road from June of last year till now, we realized that in the process of trying to get Republicans elected here and in Virginia, we had to build a structure, and now we have it. Now, there are many reasons why people win and lose elections, but I will tell you this, that it's very, very important that as we move forward, that we stick by the president's side, that we stick by the Make America Great Again agenda. Now, look, I have these briefings pretty much once a day now with the White House Communication Office and with other people involved in the administration, and I can tell you that this morning we were talking about the president's Asia trip. It was incredible. It's incredible what he's done there. It's incredible as how he got China on board to talk about fair trade, to talk about fighting the opioid epidemic, not only here in New Jersey but across the country. The mainstream media isn't going to talk much about that because these are presidential successes. But we can. And that's what I'm here tonight, to let you know how you can be a tremendous asset to the President of the United States right from your home. And not only that, folks, we need to make it absolutely clear, undeniably clear. Anyone who wants to run for office in this state, I'll speak for New Jersey. There are many of you from out of states, but I know you feel the same way. I've been talking to people in Virginia. I've been talking to people in New York and in other states around the country. They're going to have to understand one thing. They're going to stick with the President of the United States, or we're not going to stick with them. These elections, 5 congressional seats were contested on last Tuesday across the country. Every single congressman who ran for office and who stood by the president's side got elected. Every single one of them. All 5 congressional seats, Trump people, Trump supporters, they got elected to office. Now, down in Virginia, there was an issue regarding the Republican candidate who wavered, and as a result, Trump supporters didn't come out. In New Jersey, well, I'll tell you what, our candidate ran a good campaign. Could have she done more? Well, that's here nor there. All right, the fact of the matter is that as we move forward, we need to stick together. And we need to understand that blaming each other, blaming the candidates, blaming the GOP is not going to solve a problem. Now, I have heard from many people and heads of organizations in New Jersey who now want to meet, sit down, and talk. And what do they want to talk about? Let's get together. Let's unite. There are a lot more that should be doing that. Right now, we have an opportunity here in the state of New Jersey. You have an opportunity in Virginia. And we have opportunities in other states for the common man. I'm not talking about politicians. I'm talking about people like us to come together and to start to take total control of our destiny. We are seeing the process and the repudiation of establishment politics. This is why I believe in New Jersey and across the country, we're seeing some congressional people begin to leave. Election day, as all this was going on, a congressman, I think it was Lobiondo of New Jersey, decided that he's not going to run again. Well, he can, give all the reasons why he doesn't want to run again, but I believe that the reasons are simple. That the support is not there, and it's not there because just maybe you should have done a little bit more for the President of the United States. Now, I could be wrong, but that's my view, and it's the view of a lot of other people. I expect that unless more congressional representatives in New Jersey get on board the President's agenda, they're going to be gone. I don't want to see them gone. I don't want to see any Republican candidate lose an office to a Democrat. But I will tell you this, that there is a coalition of people in New Jersey. We are coming together, and we're going to primary individuals who are not sticking by the President's agenda. You and I elected President Donald Trump to represent us by shrinking government, lowering taxes, fair trade, strengthening the military, getting rid of the ridiculous, unlawful sanctuary city and sanctuary state concept. I mean, we elected him to office for these reasons, and the politicians back then, and I remember this clearly, who wanted to get elected to office, got on his coattails, and they were all for the president, and now that the President of the United States runs into a little bit of trouble with regard to support here and support there, they decide, these establishment politicians decide that they're going to cut and run. Well, go ahead, cut and run. We're not going to fight to bring you back. Just cut and run. And then we're going to open up the doors to bring people in that are going to support the president's agenda, because that's what we want. There is hope, folks. In New Jersey, I've heard people say they're moving, they're leaving, the guns are going to go, the Second Amendment's going to go, school choice is going to go, abortion is going to increase. Folks, let me share this with you. We're going to have a rough patch in New Jersey for about 18 to 24 months. Then you're going to see, believe me, it's a cycle. It happens all the time. You're going to see conservative Democrats give us the telephone calls, send us the messages, because they're not going to be able to sustain what's coming their way. So now, what do? Here's what we need to do. And perhaps we are going to really have to bring people together, and I'm going to ask you to help me. Number one, our message across New Jersey and perhaps in every other state regarding certain issues. And we must stick by these issues. And the issues I'm going to share with you are going to have to be put right to the GOP. Either they support these issues or we don't support them. We've got enough power now. We've got enough people within the Trump sphere, if you will, who are going to be able to tip an election one way or the other. So the GOP, the new GOP, the brand spanking new GOP that we're going to create is going to be rebranding and restructuring a GOP, at least here in New Jersey, and this is going to be something that I want to sit with the GOP officials in New Jersey, is going to be inclusive of middle-class people. It's going to be inclusive of what? Conservatives. Conservatives who have been ignored. Number one, the GOP is going to have to make it absolutely clear that the Second Amendment is a constitutional amendment. It is non-negotiable. I haven't heard that. I've heard that from very few candidates. That had a lot to do with some of the problems that we face in this state. The Second Amendment, non-negotiable, and every single person in this state should have the right to bear arms. Now, we know that's not coming under the new governor, but that doesn't mean it cannot come from a national level. Number two, we want government to be reduced. We want taxes lowered. No sanctuary cities, no sanctuary states. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Let's just look at the Trump agenda, folks, and there's our platform for New Jersey and other states. So we're going to take that platform and we're going to build our structure that we already have a foundation laid out for, and we're going to stand on that platform. Now, those of you who belong to different organizations, who are heads of different organizations, Republican organizations, civic, religious organizations, I'm going to encourage you to get in touch with us, because the Trump train is starting to roll through New Jersey. And we're getting around, folks. Got a lot of calls, a lot of messages. People don't know what to do. The problem isn't the fact that people don't care. You know, I hear people saying only 30% of New Jersey residents came out to vote. Well, that's true. But I think they care. I think they're fed up. I think they're fed up with politics, and they're giving up. And you know why they're giving up, folks? We don't have leadership in this state of New Jersey. I can't speak for other states, but there is no leadership here. There's a leadership vacuum. And we need people on the outside to stand up and to say, look, enough is enough. You want to play your politics, go right ahead. But don't play your politics on the back of the hardworking men and women in the state of New Jersey. Don't do that. Well, they did, folks, and now we're going to pay for it. But we don't have to pay for it forever. That's my point. We need to move forward. We need to come together. And we need to do exactly what we have to do in order to put people back to work, to bring business and industry back here. Not only here in New Jersey, but around the country. And you know who's doing that? You know who's doing that? The President of the United States. Many, many Republicans across the country lost their seats, lost their chance to serve because they were afraid of offending the opposition. Believe me, folks, you cannot be afraid when you're in a war. And when you're in politics, you are in an ideological war. The liberals, the Democrats, the progressives, they have their way of thinking. Conservatives, we have our way of thinking. Doesn't make anyone evil, doesn't make anyone un-American. It just makes them realize that either one way, it's either going to be conservative or liberal, and if they don't get it right, it's going to destroy a state and it's going to destroy a country. Well, we have enough evidence now, based on what we've seen, at least what I've seen over my years in politics, going back from Kennedy to Johnson. I mean, the Jimmy Carter years were the worst years of our lives in this country. Liberals, progressives, Democrats. Every time a liberal, a progressive, or a Democrat gets their hands on something, everything starts to go to hell in a handbasket because they want to give everything away. Frankly, and I hope I'm speaking for many of you tonight, I'm tired of paying everybody's way. I am absolutely tired of hearing that I have to pay for illegal immigrants, I have to pay for somebody's education that never cared about getting an education. I'm tired of welfare. I mean, I'm just tired of paying medical bills for everybody else. When my parents came here, they taught me a work ethic. You want to get ahead in life, you got to do a few things. First of all, believe in God Almighty. That is fundamental to our conservative values, to the founding principles of this country. You got to have a belief in God Almighty, because we can't solve all of our problems, and there are times when we have to go to a higher power. That's number one. And believe in yourself. My mother and father, my parents used to say you could achieve anything you want in this country, but you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. And they also said, get up in the morning, make your bed, and go out and find a job. Go to work, and then you'll learn what the value of a dollar is, and you'll never be unemployed again. Now, unfortunately, the economy in time causes a lot of people to be unemployed. But the fact of the matter is that if you work hard enough, you find the resources, and you do what has to be done to survive. And you know what? The fact of the matter is that it works. So instead of looking for handouts, maybe there are many people who do legitimately look for a helping hand. I have no problem with that. But the fact of the matter is, a conservative value is that helping hand is going to be withdrawn at some point in time. And you're going to have to do things for yourself. And that's the message of conservatives. And that's a message that we haven't been sending out to the public. A lot of conservative organizations, a lot of politicians who say they're conservatives, in my view, were too afraid to offend. Groups of people, organizations, they just were too afraid to offend them. Why? Because they were more concerned about getting elected to office, about their political survival, than the survival of our country. So, what does all this mean? It means this, that the only thing we need to do now is to move forward. And we will move forward. So here's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking every single one of you to take this email down. I almost sound like a telethon. I sound like Jerry Lewis at times when I come up here, take this email down, take this number down. But I'm asking you because this is a matter of our survival here, at least right now in the state of New Jersey, and in a long time, our survival as a country. There are 150,000 people on my Twitter account, and it's growing every single week. There are thousands on our Facebook accounts and across our social media platforms that people are helping us with. Every single one of you tonight watching, I'm asking you to do a few things. One, please share these broadcasts. Please share them. It's fundamentally important for people to know not to give up. That it's just not me, folks. There are leaders within our Trump team all over this country who are on the President's Advisory Board, his Advisory Campaign Board, and we're working night and day. You've seen us on Fox and CNN and here and there. I mean, we're working hard in order to kind of push back on the progressive, liberal, Democrat machine, and at the same time advancing the Make America Great Again agenda. But we need your help. I've said that all along. Well, now we're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make it rather quickly. If you're going to get in the fight, or you're going to be pushed out. And I know many of you want to get in the fight. Many of you don't know how to get in the fight. Many of you are so frustrated, you want to go out there and you want to do a lot of things and you can't. You don't have the means. We have the means, and we have the means to help you fight. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. First of all, and this is very important, and for those of you who are going to take this lightly, just plug your ears up, okay? I'm asking every single one of you at the end of this broadcast to say a quick prayer to the good Lord. Ask Him for wisdom, for knowledge, for understanding. Ask Him to give you the discernment as to what you need to do to help the cause of this country. Because I'll tell you one thing that I'm proud of the GOP about and the conservative movement. We are never ashamed to, in the same breath, utter the words God and country. I am so, so proud of the people of this party. Wherever I've gone, there was always God and country intermingled with the mission that we have. That's number one. And if you don't think prayer is powerful, well, you just try it and watch and see how powerful it is. Number two, there's an email address. I'm going to ask you to get a pencil, pen, whatever. I'd like you to write it down, all right? And then what I'd like you to do is to email me, all right? Email. In fact, somebody just wrote something here, and I'm going to just digress a minute and pray for wisdom. Wisdom. Wisdom is so important. The Bible says if we pray for wisdom, God will give us wisdom. Thanks for that. See, I'm watching. All right, so Steve at teamtrumpnj.us. Steve at teamtrumpnj.us. And we're going to post that after this broadcast. Now, this is what's important. Email us. Just email and put MAGA in your narrative part. You know where it says a message, wherever you want to write, MAGA. Now, when you send us that email, we're going to have your email address. We're going to put it in our data bank. It's going to stay confidential. Every week, you're going to get a Make America Great Again briefing papers. Now, on those briefing papers are absolute, indisputable facts as to what the president is doing and what his accomplishments are. It is so critically important that you get this information out. Now, when we first started sending this information out, we started getting a lot of feedback from people who just simply did not know that the president was accomplishing so much. What we are doing, too, is asking you to delete every single negative, anti-Trump, liberal, progressive feed you get. Unfortunately, in the past, we learned that a lot of people on our side were just, answering it and forwarding it and say, gee, you see this, you see that. Well, that's what the opposition wants you to do. Just delete it. Disregard it. They're irrelevant, folks. The only thing relevant to us is the president's agenda in our country. So I'm going to ask you to delete that nonsense, forget the conspiracy theories, forget the distractions, and let's go and make America great again by playing an important role. Steve at teamtrumpnj.us. And I'll repeat it again before I sign off. So I'd like you to do that. Secondly, those of you in New Jersey, we're going to have our second Team Trump gathering in December. Sometime in December. Looks like we're going to have it in Middlesex County. We don't charge a fee. We don't ask for contributions. We don't ask for donations. When we have these events, we have them in venues where if you want to buy food, you can buy food. If you don't want to buy food, that's it. It's a pay your own way. We're not looking for your money. We're not looking to raise funds. What we're looking is for you to become engaged and involved in helping the President of the United States and in making sure that those individuals who we are going to support for office are in line with the Make America Great Again agenda. That's all we're looking for. Our last meeting we had at the President's Country Club at Colts Neck, New Jersey, it was great. I mean, people had a lot of fun. They were networking with each other, discussing things with each other, and we were able to get critical information out to them. And it was from that meeting that we've grown into thousands. And that's what we're asking you to do tonight. You want to get involved? Believe me, this is how you can get involved. And what we ask you to do is when we send you this information, you just send it out across your social media platforms. In addition to that, you're going to receive invitations to all of the events we have in the state. Some you could come to, some maybe it's too far. But we plan to have events all the way from Cape May, New Jersey, to the northern border, from the Philadelphia, New Jersey border to the Atlantic Ocean. Now, what are we going to do at these events? They don't have to be big events. Some you may have 50 people, some 200, maybe a dozen. You want us to come to your community? You might want to hold a little coffee, a little tea, a little something. Bring a dozen neighbors in. We'll get there. We'll get there. We are going to make sure that we're building an army, an absolutely incredible force in New Jersey, unlike anything we've ever seen before, so that we are going to be getting deeply involved in shaping the new New Jersey GOP and the new American GOP. That's what we're looking to do. We're not looking to take anything over. In fact, I encourage the New Jersey GOP chairman and chairwoman who I've met, they're all fine people, to jump on board. Let's get together and let's do what we must do to make sure our country, and particularly the state of New Jersey, survives some of the rough things we're going through. So you can become involved. And it doesn't cost anything, but a little bit of time, maybe a click of a button that says forward or a click of a button that says share. So that's what we need to do. I've got 5 minutes left here. And here's what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to, on Facebook, I could see some questions, and let's just start popping them up, and let's see what we got here. All right, now, now here's a question. Well, there are questions about how I feel about certain things, and certainly I'll tell you how I feel as a conservative. Steve, how do you feel about recreational weed coming to New Jersey? I'm opposed to it, folks. I'm opposed to, look, I am absolutely in favor of, and maybe this is something as a GOP we have to really articulate and clarify, I am in favor of medical marijuana. I think anybody who's suffering from any type of ailment, disease, should have access to anything that helps them. And if marijuana is going to help ease the pain, that's fine. For medicinal, medical purposes, mental health purposes, etc. But for recreational use, I'm opposed to it. I've been a cop for 38 years, and nobody can't tell me it's not a gateway drug. But it's coming to New Jersey. But that's how I feel about it. And I think that's something that the GOP ought to kind of weigh in on pretty strongly. Now, let's see what else we have here. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, well, Benjamin, I certainly respect your opinion. This fellow here is a good guy, all right, but he's opposed to what I say with regard to drugs, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm here for the president, and I'm here for making sure that we build a coalition. So any other question? We got some thoughts about education. Look, I think the GOP should stand for school choice. I think that our public school system's a wreck, and that's why the president, I'm sure, appointed his appointee to the Secretary of Education. This is a free market society. I think that when your public schools are failing, you know what? Maybe you have to have choice. So I think what we need to do is to give you, the people, the power back to determine your destiny. And I know with this president, he wants to do that. So what we need to do, folks, is to move on and to look forward. And I'm going to wind down now because I've got 3 minutes. I told the world here that I'd stick to 30 minutes. So our plan is this. We're going to have representatives in every county in the state of New Jersey. We are building up to that right now. You could be one of those representatives. You could be one of those coordinators. We've got an army that we're building, and we want to come together. December, maybe mid-December, we're going to have a meeting on a Sunday afternoon in Middlesex County, New Jersey. We will have one north. We will have one south, and I mean deep south, Salem County, Cape May County. We want to include every single person we can. For those of you who live out of the state of New Jersey, please contact us. We will help you give birth to a Team Trump in your state. We will help you do that. That is very, very important. But right now, we've got a lot to do here with Team Trump, New Jersey, and we want and encourage everyone listening to share this with their friends and neighbors, their family members, and to join. Steve at teamtrumpnj.us. So that's it, folks. I just wanted to calm some nerves. I was really hoping someone in the GOP, in the state of New Jersey at least, would come on TV or come on the air or do something and say, you know what, let's pull it all together. Let's pull it together. Forget the past, crying, whining, pointing fingers. It's not going to do anything for us. But standing up strong and working together and being firm and believing and working towards our goal is something we can achieve. Sean Hannity, a friend of mine on Fox, always says, let not your heart be troubled. That's a scripture out of the Bible. So for all of those of you who are worried about taxes and worried about your quality of life and worried about this and worried about that, well, you know what? I'm telling you, I'm one of those people. I pay taxes, all right? I'm one of you. Remember that. I'm not worried about it. Because I know through the power of prayer, through the power of working together as a team, and knowing that we have a president who is standing up for Main Street USA, who is standing up for the middle-class Americans, we're going to be fine. Now, there's going to be a lot of stuff in the next few days about this tax reform bill. Please, again, calm down. We're all going to be okay, folks, believe me. It can be a rough patch. You're working through a framework. This is why you need to get our Make America Great Again briefing papers. because you're going to see facts on there. No opinion, no emotional responses, all facts. Right from the White House, by the way. So, Steve at teamtrumpnj.us. Everything's going to work out, folks. Don't worry about a thing, for goodness sakes. Get a good night's sleep. And in New Jersey, believe me, I'm telling you, I've got a mission. And this mission is going to be to flip this state red by 2020 and to get people who support the President of the United States elected to Congress and elected to the Senate. Tall order, isn't it? Big mountain to climb. I like big mountains because it makes us work hard to get to the top. All right, folks, so that's about it. I want to thank you very much for joining me tonight. Now, look, this was a special broadcast. I'm on every Monday night at 7:30 unless I'm on Fox or something like that. But I must tell you this, that I wanted to come on tonight specifically to say exactly what I said. Calm down. Relax. Take it easy. Look at your children. Thanksgiving, folks, is a few weeks away. Don't let anybody, don't let politics steal what God has given us from you. Be thankful. Let's all be thankful that this flag is still our flag behind me here, the red, white, and blue, and the stars. Let's make sure that we stand together and work together and pray together. We're going to be fine. We have a responsibility not only for us, but for our children and our grandchildren. Let's together make America great again. Steve at teamtrumpnj.us. Please, right after this broadcast is off, share it. We're going to post that email. It's critically important that you email us because now we're going to build and now we're going to move forward. Thank you. God bless America. God bless you, your family, and God bless the President of the United States.